Welcome, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join us. I'm Steve Levy, Interim CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater MetroWest New Jersey. Israel is once again under attack, and the situation continues to be quite dynamic. In particular, we applaud the decisive and historic action taken by the U.S. on June 21st to dismantle Iran's key nuclear facilities, including the critical site at Fordo. We could not be prouder to have the United States join together with the State of Israel in defense of the free world. We're actively coordinating with partners across government and civil society to ensure our communities remain vigilant, prepared, and protected at this critical time. I'm also proud to share, on behalf of Michael Goldberg and our Federation Board of Trustees, and Maxine Mernick and the Jewish Community Foundation Board of Trustees, that in response to Operation Rising Lion and the missile strikes from Iran, our community took swift action, supporting urgent, life-saving needs for people in harm's way, enhancing security here in New Jersey, and advocating locally in support of Israel. Because upcoming Israel trips are canceled, we are also helping teens and families find meaningful alternatives for their summer 2025 plans. You should all feel proud that the leaders of our Greater MetroWest Federation and Jewish Community Foundation allocated $1 million in immediate emergency funding. It is because of our strong UJA annual campaign that these critical dollars exist for our response to crises like this, like in Ukraine, like on October 7th, and many more. We are acting on our Jewish values to care for the people of Israel. As it says in the Talmud, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Bazeh. All of Israel and the Jewish people are responsible one for the other. Over the next 30 minutes, you will hear key updates from Israel on our local response and how you can get involved. To begin, please welcome Rabbi Jesse Olitsky of Congregation Beth El in South Orange, who will be followed by Mark Wilf, Chair of the Board of Governors of the Jewish Agency for Israel. Rabbi.
We want to begin this morning with prayer. As we think about our brothers and sisters in Israel and serving the IDF, please join me in the prayer for the State of Israel, followed by the prayer for the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'go'alo, Barech et Medina Yisrael, Reshit Tzmicha Geulatenu, Hagen Alecha bevrat chastecha, Ufros Alecha sukat shalomecha. Ushlach orcha v'amidcha l'rashea, Tzoreh v'yotzeha, V'tagnem beitzah tova milfanecha. Chazek yidei gnei eretz kodshenu, V'anchilem Elohim Yeshua, V'ater netzachon teatrem, V'natata shalom ba'aretz, V'simchat olam le'oshveha, V'nomar Amen. Father in heaven, Rock of Israel and its Redeemer, bless the State of Israel, the beginning of our redemption. Shield it with your loving kindness and spread over it the shelter of your peace. Direct its leaders and advisors with your light, your truth, your good counsel. Give strength to the hands of those who defend our holy land. Deliver them and crown their efforts with lasting triumph. Bless the land with peace and its inhabitants with joy. And let us say, Amen. Misha Berach, Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Yivarech et Chayalei Tzava Haganah Yisrael, Homdim al Mishmar Etzenu, V'rei Eloheinu, Migvul HaLevanon, V'ad Midbar Mitzrayim, Min Hayam Hagadol, Ad Lavo Harava, Be'abasha, Ba'avir, Uvayam. Iten Adonai et Oivenu, Hakamim Aleinu Negafim Lifnehem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yishmor V'yatzil et Chayalenu Mikol Tzara V'tzukah Mikol Nego U'Machala V'yishlach Bracha V'atacha B'chol Ma'aseh Yedeihem Yadber Son'enu Tachteichem V'yatrem B'chet Yeshua V'ater Nitzachon V'kuyam Bahem HaKatuv Ki Adonai Elohechem Ha'olech Imachem V'yilachem Lechem Im Oivechem Le'oshia Etchem V'nomar Amen. May the Blessed Holy One guard and rescue our soldiers from every trouble and distress. from every plague and illness. And may God send blessing and success in their every endeavor. May God lead our enemies under our soldiers' sway, and may God grant them salvation and crown them with victory. May there be fulfilled for them the verse, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you to battle your enemies, for you to save you. And let us say, Amen.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mark Wilf and privileged to be the chairman of the Board of Governors of the Jewish Agency for Israel, or JAFE, and I'm also a proud past president of the Jewish Federation of Greater MetroWest and a current trustee. JAFE supports Israeli society and Jewish communities around the world. The needs are great, of course, and some of the people who are most vulnerable are enduring the biggest hardships. Israelis have already been struggling with repercussions from October 7 for 20 months, and we must always be advocating for the return of the 50 hostages still in Gaza. At the onset of Operation Rising Lion, JAFE established an emergency fund in partnership with JFNA and Karen Hayasod for the victims of the war and opened a situation room available to the thousands of our beneficiaries and participants globally. JAFE has raised more than $10 million so far toward our goal of $20 million from funders worldwide to support bereaved families who have lost family members in the bombing attacks and people who have been injured or displaced from homes that are damaged. The fund will also support long-term assistance to municipalities who are overwhelmed and need resources to combat trauma and strengthen resilience. This is about global mutual responsibility for Jewish people to make sure that no one is left behind. There's been a tremendous outpouring of help. Thank you for your support. I am so proud to be part of this incredible community and to be privileged to witness firsthand the heroism and resilience of the JAFE team and the many Israelis we all are so fortunate to be able to support. All organizations have had to make historic pivots to prioritize safety above all. Birthright Israel, for example, evacuated 1,500 young adults from the U.S. who were stranded in Israel by undertaking an incredibly secretive operation that took them to Cyprus on a cruise ship. So too, we at JAFE are bringing thousands of our immersive experience participants in Masa and other programs home, as well as bringing shlichim, campers, counselors from Israel to our communities around the world. Similar work is underway to create other departure options for travelers who need to get home. JAFE has the know-how, the ability to pivot quickly through our work, assisting new immigrants in absorption centers, helping program participants from abroad who are in Israel, and ensuring the safety and well-being of our emissaries and representatives around the world, including the Rishonim here in Greater MetroWest. We are in constant communication with senior officials involved in the Israeli home front, and I'm now honored to introduce an incredible leader and hero who's done extraordinary work, especially these past few weeks, Yehuda Setton, the CEO and Director General of the Jewish Agency for Israel, to give us the latest developments from Israel. Yehuda.
Thank you so much, Mark. We are so blessed to have you as our chairman during this difficult time, but actually every single day. And thank you all for having me today. And I want to thank you for being among the first federations to reach out to the Jewish Agency, I think both as a friends and as partners, but also to be the first to provide financial support. I want to take the next few minutes to share with you some pictures from this past week. Thank you. That will also show you where your support has gone. I hope you feel as proud for a second before that one. I hope you feel as proud as we do about the work that we are doing together. I'm saying that many, many times that we work on behalf of the Jewish people. I will start by saying that the past 11 days have been some of the most difficult we have faced. In Israel, we are not sleeping. Michal can share that. We are out of all the routine, facing prolonged uncertainty, and each day brings with it more destruction and loss of life. Just today, 4 people is killed from a direct missile attack on their safe room in Beersheba. So I want to take now the time and share with you in 8 pictures, 7 stories, what your support has allowed us to do over the past week. So the first picture, please. This is a picture of me standing in the rubble of what used to be several buildings in Bat Yam. This was a deeply personal moment for me. I know that you saw the movie, some of you. I was born and raised in Bat Yam city. Bat Yam is just south of Tel Aviv, a city of primarily working class Olim, a lot of Olim over there. And I'm looking at this picture at my old neighborhood, places that me and my brothers would play, and with a broken heart. This is why the Jewish Agency created a special fund for those impacted by the Operation Raising Lion. The people living in this home will not be able to return for a long time. 22 buildings will be demolished, and they are living now in hotels and have no idea what is next for them. Our staff meets each and every one of them to offer them financial assistance and support as they take their first steps through recovery. The second, please. Here I am. Second picture, please. Thank you. In this picture, I'm with our chairman, Doron Almog, and the mayor of Bat Yam, Tzvika. The short story that we basically been living in Bat Yam in the same place, 2 different youth movements. He's been in the Akiva, I've been in the Israeli Scouts. And we're hearing in this picture about the needs and what they need us to assist with the civilian population. And I assure in this picture to the mayor that the Jewish people will be there for them this recovery, and for them that was super important because they want to feel that they are not alone. So please, the next one, going very fast. 24 hours ago, I was standing in Beersheba and I saw this building. This was the first hit, not the last one that we have. And my staff noticed a young woman standing on the sidewalk with a luggage. And she was crying. She had tears in her eyes. And we came to her and speak to her, and her name was Liat. And I asked Liat if I can go to and see her apartment. If you can, for a second, move now to the second picture. Liat wasn't there when the attack has been hit, but she lost everything over there. And this is the building that you can see. Liat walked with us through her apartment, and she wanted to talk about the beautiful home she has built over the past 7 years and the things she has lost. She admitted she cannot go back to work right now and just stays in the area of the apartment all day trying to save whatever she can. She told me, I came, and then after 4 hours they allowed me to get to the apartment, and they told me, take what is important to you. And I was standing over there, don't know what to take. And from that moment, every single day I'm coming, being in the apartment and asking and thinking about what should I take, what should I take, what should I take. And you can see that also in the next picture. I promise her on behalf of the Jewish people that we will be there for her, not only physically, but also with the emotionally recovery. The next stop in Beersheba this is the next picture. While I was over there, I went to visit the Olim, living in one of our absorption centers there. This is absorption center, has been also hit by a missile attack. And as you know, the children in Israel has been out of school since the beginning of the war, the last 11 days. All of us as parents feel that very good. For those living in an absorption center, that can be extremely difficult. Living in a small space, not going to school, not sleeping at night, with no framework. Thanks to your gift, we were able to create new activity for the children. This picture was actually taken as they were in the middle of an arts and craft workshop, and I spoke to the kids. And the next one, you will see the Elian family, that they are living in the same absorption centers. They arrived in Operation Zur Israel about 3 years ago. Many of you on this call traveled fast to Ethiopia. I think that Mark, I know that you have been there, and Jane and Michael and Terry. That was the operation that you helped us to bring this specific family to Israel. They were in the process of buying an apartment and moving out of the absorption centers. But because of the war, both the father and the son have been temporarily laid off of their jobs. So we offering them some modest financial support to get through this tough time, and they will stay with us until they'll be comfortable to do so. And I'm pleased to say to you that Aliyah is never stopped with Israel, and tomorrow we have Olim coming on the first flight from the beginning of the war to Israel. And finally, the last picture. This is a picture of our visit in Soroka Hospital. During that visit, we met with the family of soldiers who had been badly wounded in Gaza just a few days earlier. Even though the focus of the world has been on Iran this week, I remind us that we still have 50 people being held in Gaza. There is still 350,000 reservists fighting for their freedom and our safety. The Jewish Agency remains, with your assistance, committed to assist the reservists and their families, and we will be there for them to support their businesses. So I want to close by saying a huge, huge, huge thank you. You are an amazing community that allow us to do a lot of good within the Israeli society, but not only to support the Israeli, but also to connect the Jewish people with one another during this difficult time. Thank you very much.
Next, we'd like to welcome Michal Zur, our Executive Director of the Greater MetroWest Office in Israel.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, everyone. Happy to be here. And thank you, Yehuda, for the fascinating and important update. I'll try to frame the bigger picture and then get into the details of what's going on in our partnership communities. So just to remind ourselves, this is not an event by itself. It's part of a long, very long, tiring war that we're in it for the past year and a half, over a year and a half. 1,918 people were killed since October 2023. 25 people were killed in the Rising Lion operation. More than half of them are children and elderly. The hit that the civilian population took is great. We're talking about 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 10,000 evacuees all over the country, mostly from the center, with no home to return to. They're settled in hotels, and I can share from personal experience that being settled in hotels or youth hostels is far beyond the physical aspects of it, missing the sense of competence and as parents, what can we tell our kids and how can we provide them with safety and security and routine and food, and it's all get mixed. And the longer period of evacuation that it takes, the emotional damage is huge. And today they're starting to have research about evacuations, and we know that it's far from ideal. Talking about our communities, I'll start with Ofakim that took a major hit on October 7th. This time, there was still a need for immediate support. People were sleeping and staying overnight in communal and public shelters, but we could see how the work of the municipality and the resilience center, the temporary one that we're supporting and hopefully building the new one, worked. People were more confident in calling. They had a therapist waiting for them. They had someone looking after them. They felt that they're being seen. And the way the municipality collaborated with all the organizations and NGOs in town was remarkable. And I think we should be proud of our part in helping them getting there. They did a lot of drills. They still need supplies. They still need rescue devices and rescue equipment, but for the most part, they're doing considerably okay. If we can show the first slide, please. The biggest hit in terms of our partner communities was Rishon LeZion, which has been our partner community for almost 50 years, since 1977. Over 500 people are evacuated to hotels, to temporary housing. One of them is our own dealer teen fellow, Shira Revivo, who's twinned with Talia Gewertz from Greater Metro West, and the families are in very warm connection and keeping in touch. Shira and her family are staying in a hotel. We will do whatever we can to help them, but for now they don't have a place to go back to. If you can move to the second slide, please. One of the most vulnerable places in town is Ramat Eliyahu, the neighborhood we've been in very close contact for the past years. A lot of seniors, youth at risk, immigrants, like Yehuda mentioned, from Ethiopia, from former Soviet Union. They don't have safe rooms in their apartments. The apartments are old and tiny, and they need to use the communal shelters. Some of them, if you can move to the next slide, some of them are in the municipality parking lot, underground parking lot. We have different organizations that we work with that are helping them, getting mattresses overnight, getting fans. It's extremely hot there during the day. People are there with their babies, dogs, cats. It gets sometimes very tense between different groups of people and different families. Sometimes there are beautiful moments. If you can move to the next slide, you'll see the photo of the kids. You'll see it in a minute. We're doing a lot of work there to help them with respite activities, workshops, therapeutic activities. Very, very stressed and tensed. Try to think about yourself living in an underground parking lot for several days. I think it's something that is new even for us, going through this crazy period all the time. If you can move to the last slide, to the next slide. This is the surrounding of Kibbutz Erez. Thank God nothing hit inside the kibbutz, but we can see the person that is standing in the middle of the field just gives us proportions on how deep the heat is on the ground. Dafka in Kibbutz Erez, we see that it's relatively quiet. We have families that were not here since October 7th that are coming back because we have less alarms. We still hear a lot of noise from Gaza, whether it's the IDF attacking or Hamas responding. So it's not quiet here, but significantly less alerts. So people are coming here to hang out, and it's also our opportunity to give back. We've been baking cakes all day and all night just to send to evacuees in the center, and we're trying to see what else they need and how we can give back some of what we got from families all around Israel. Just a word about the feelings. You can stop the sharing. Thank you. It is a rare moment of consensus in Israel. We all understand that the Iranian threat should be dealt with. We all understand that this had to happen, and we will be resilient to take whatever it takes. We are proud and trust of the IDF, the Home Front Command rescue teams who have done an amazing job, Magen David Adom, the police, all the big organizations that were missing on October 7th are now, they rose to the occasion. They are doing amazing, inspiring, brave work in the field, very immediate, and rescuing people. So despite the many challenges and the heavy cost and the heavy hearts, the state of Israel and mostly the local municipalities are demonstrating remarkable resilience and civic and social strength. So thank you all for everything that you do. And with your support, we're able to be there for our partners on the ground and offer the much needed immediate help. Toda.
Thank you, Mark, Yehuda, and Michal. And before we continue, I just want to acknowledge there's somebody among the almost 300 participants in this call that is worth acknowledging, and that is our friend Mufid from the town of Khorfash. Mufid is a former member of the Knesset and also a board member of Jaffe, and we're so proud to be friends with him. What's happening in Israel is a major focus for us. And at the same time, we're being attentive to the ways that our New Jersey Jewish community members are being impacted. To give us a safety and preparedness update, please welcome Chip Michaels, Chief Security Officer of the Gloria and Jesse Weisberg Community Security Initiative. Chip.
Thank you, Steve. In recent weeks, our communities have been deeply affected by a series of targeted acts of violence against Jews. The horrific terrorist attack on participants in the Run for Their Lives event in Colorado, following closely on the heels of the shooting of 2 Israeli embassy staff members outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., serve as stark reminders of the increasing threats facing the Jewish community across the United States. Although military operations against Iran have decreased, we recognize the potential for heightened tensions and the risk of additional targeted violence. Please be assured that we are in regular contact with law enforcement agencies at all levels, and at this time, authorities have confirmed there are no credible threats to the MetroWest Jewish community. Having said that, we strongly encourage that you review emergency plans, inspect emergency equipment, doors, and windows to ensure all are in working order. Most importantly, report suspicious activity or unusual behavior to your staff, police, and security officers. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me directly. Thank you. Now I'll turn it back over to Steve. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chip. Before we hear from our last speaker this morning, I wanted to give everyone a quick update on summer activities. You've heard a little bit before this, and the impact of this war on them. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, the situation we face is still quite dynamic. When it comes to Jewish camp, the situation has actually changed quite positively in the last few days. It was just 1 week ago that Jewish camps in the northeast of the US were facing a huge challenge with about 1,000 Israeli staff members not knowing if they could make it to the US in time for the camp to be open. Fortunately, the Jewish Agency helped to turn that situation around quickly, and we now expect all of the staff to be at their camps within the next few days. Unfortunately, almost all the youth summer trips planned to take place in Israel, such as the Dillard Teen Program and others, were canceled. We have been working around the clock with these organizations and individual families to find alternative activities that are both meaningful and appropriate. These programs are important because they are not just trips or jobs. They are formative Jewish experiences. These programs help teens to build deep emotional connections to Israel and personal relationships that last for decades. Our Jewish camp team, led by Tracy Levine, and our teen programs team, led by Avi Siegel, have mobilized very quickly, working with many others in this dynamic environment we find ourselves. And now I would like to turn this program over to Linda Scherzer, Director of Federation's Jewish Community Relations Council. Linda.
Thank you, Steve, and good morning, everyone. I am proud to lead the JCRC, which is the Government Affairs and Israel Advocacy wing of our Jewish Federation. The news out of the Middle East, as Steve said, is dynamic, unfolding at a speed that we have never witnessed in modern times. But one thing is absolutely clear. We are at a critical and historic moment in the U.S.-Israel relationship. As Israelis stand on the front lines in the battle for the safety, security, and future of the Jewish state, we have a role to play from here. Now is the time for us to raise our voices as members of the American Jewish community to advocate for Israel's security needs and to acknowledge the historic action taken by the U.S. administration. Please call or email President Trump and the White House to thank them for their decisive action. And please reach out to your members of Congress to let them know that we as a community support this military action. Because as you probably know, the decision to strike Iran was not a popular one in this country. And so it is incredibly important that we let our members of Congress know that we stand firmly behind the president's decision. Additionally, please tell your members of Congress that we need them to support continued military assistance and defensive weapon systems, which enable Israel to maintain its military edge in the region. We will be sharing contact information for each of these efforts in a follow-up communication. I want to thank you in advance for standing up and speaking out for Israel. And now I'd like to turn it back to Steve.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you to all our speakers. Now, I encourage you to help make all of this work possible. Each one of us can be involved. On the screen is a QR code. You can scan it right now to access all the updates from Federation and action steps you can take to be part of this work. You will also be receiving a follow-up email with these details. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Am Yisrael Chai.